Hi everyone. Today is Saturday, February 25th, 2023. I'm Crystal Dawn Hill, and I'm here to talk about something that is very much a twin flame phenomenal kind of synchronicity or sign or whatever confirmation. And it started last night and it's continuing today, and I want to talk about it. So last night, I literally, with my eyes wide open, saw the cord that my Divine Masculine and I share. And it moved me to tears. And I did a video about it right then and there to capture my raw emotion that I was feeling at the time it happened. But I haven't made that video public because of certain things in there that I was talking about that I'm really not ready to divulge openly. So I just posted the video to YouTube and set it to private so that I can only see it, unless I share the link with someone and then they can view it as well. So I had pretty much put that incident in the back of my mind. When I got up today, I was thinking about doing making a meme, like an interrelationship meme, to make light of where I am right now in my journey. And if you notice my voice is sounding funny, it's because of what just happened, and I'm really amazed by it. And I'm excited about getting it out. So this morning, when I was thinking about doing this meme, it led me into doing something else, because I couldn't remember on the reel update that Facebook does when you change your relationship. I couldn't remember if the heart was above the text or below it. So I was looking for the memes to find out. And I ended up finding something else that kind of pulled me in a different direction. So I did what I felt like I was being called to do with that, and then it started to drain my energy a little bit. So to take a break from it, I was looking at my memories from today. And in one of the memories, there was a sign of when I was moving back from Georgia to Virginia. My friend that was in the car with me took a picture of the Welcome to Virginia sign. And underneath of Welcome to Virginia, it said Virginia's for lovers, and it had a heart like the one on the meme. Oh, that's not all. Something told me to look at the sign more closely, so I blew it up. And there's something right through the heart. I don't know if it's dust or dirt or paint or what, but it's something right through the heart that looks very much like the drawing that I did of the cord. Now, last night when I was talking about seeing the cord, when I said it, I did the same thing. I paused and just smiled in awe of what's happening. So, back in October, a friend of mine passed away, a very dear friend. And I haven't specifically asked for signs that she's around me, but she's the friend that was in the car who took the picture. And she was very supportive of me on my journey. So I'm not saying specifically that this does indicate her presence, which I do feel her very much in my heart. But what I will say is that God had a hand in this, and that I don't believe in coincidences. And before she got sick, we did talk a lot about who we are in our highest being, in highest state. So whether she was fully aware of what I was saying, and whether or not this is truly her presence with me today, I'm not, like, my mind is wide open and I'm not doubting anything. So I'm very grateful and very humbled and very, very much in a state of awe over all of this. I feel very, very, very blessed and very validated and very encouraged and inspired. And speaking of inspired, if you've been on this journey any length of time, you've made the connection between the word inspired and spirit. So I want to talk about something else. And I wasn't even sure why I mentioned the part about her, because I was not going to go into that. But now I'm glad I did, because that leads me to something else that I feel is important and ties in with all this. A few days ago, I felt God's presence with me very strong. And I felt him in a very different way than I ever had before. I always felt him like a father figure, and very strong and protective, and helping me navigate my regular material life, like in my physical world. But when I felt his presence the other day, I felt it more feminine and nurturing and soft. And when I was talking about that in a post, someone reminded me that the feminine side of God is the Holy Spirit. And so just now when I said that I was inspired, I just remembered that. And yes, this is how my brain works. It ties all these little different things, like it connects all these dots together. But when I saw the cord last night, I thought about that being the feminine aspect of a Holy Spirit, which is any twin flame would understand. I don't expect other people to understand, but I know twin flames are aware of this, that there is a very close correlation between our divine partner and the aspect of God that matches their gender energy. So for me, my divine masculine would be the human representation of the masculine aspect of God, like in the flesh, in the human form. And right now, we who are sensitive to energy, we are aware that our divine masculines are doing a lot of their inner work, and that's bringing them more in touch with their divine feminine side, for whom we are the representative for them. And interestingly enough, that's the main thing that I've struggled with throughout my journey since meeting him. It's been easy for me to recognize him as the person that God has selected to be the human representative for him in my life. But what I have most struggled with is me being that for him. And that's a whole nother video that I could talk about, just the reasons why I've struggled so much with that. But I think that the reason I wanted to bring that up is because just recently I've been praying a lot about that and asking for God to help me overcome that struggle. And now I feel it happening. Like he's helping by him presenting himself to me in his more feminine aspect. It's helping me to understand the characterization of that femininity. And it's helping me to recognize it within myself. And feeling the energy that's coming from my divine masculine, I can sense that he's growing closer to where he wants to be in his journey. And that is like I hadn't planned on going into this, and if any of you watch my videos on a regular basis, you know that I tend to do this because my reasons for coming on and doing a video are not always higher self's reasons for having me do the video. But the divine masculine and feminine together are what is called in psychology as interdependent. So if anybody would ever draw out a timeline of the twin flame journey and use psychological jargon to explain it, the early part of our journey would be codependent, and then the intermediate phase of our journey would be independent, and then we may have a relapse back into codependency if being independent is too challenging or difficult. But what happens eventually is we begin to learn interdependence. And I also believe that that may be where my divine masculine is right now, because I've seen him, when we met, he was already in the independent phase, but because he's my divine masculine and I'm able to see him in all of his facets, past, present, future, I could detect remnants of his codependency. And I could intuit, I might have not always been able to articulate it in my mind, but I could intuit that he was on the same road as me, which was leading us in our divine masculine and our divine feminine energies, respectively. We were becoming interdependent. And in psychological terms, that's the ultimate goal. And that's the state of being that we have to be in. That's the mindset that we need in order to transcend our human brokenness into wholeness and divine life.